Hey folks, welcome to another practice with me. So today you just want to make sure, you have a nice space that you can move with. It could be even a space pretty close to a wall that you might be able to utilize for one of our postures today. As well, maybe just reaching or having like a rolled up blanket or towel close by, which we'll use as a little bit support a little later. Or even right now, if you want to come into a moment to just ground yourself. That could be lying down, seated, in a chair, whatever feels right for you. And just take a few moments just to invite yourself into this space, invite yourself into your practice today. However and whatever that looks like for you. You might encourage just a softening within the body, so shoulders, your hips, your knees, and just allowing yourself to, just invite yourself here, Might take a few breaths, deep inhales, big exhales, and just noticing your rhythm. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Of course, going with your own pace today. You might like to stay a little longer. Then we'll begin to come back, opening the eyes. I also like just to remind folks that this is your practice. I'm just simply someone making some suggestions today on what we can do with our bodies. By no means am I an authority figure or anyone that, that is the boss of anything that we do here. And I encourage you to, check in with yourself. If there's anything that comes up that resembles pain, please, we're not here to hurt ourselves. And then that being said, we'll now make our way onto the ground. So allow yourself to lower, and remember just to have that prop close by, of course, just for a little later. So perhaps allowing the feet to bend and just lower yourself down onto the floor. And we might keep our knees bent here for a moment. And just, kind of arrange yourself, get yourself nice and comfortable, making sure that there's nothing underneath along the back. And what we're going to start out here is we're going to extend the arms out into like a T formation. And then we're going to encourage a little bit of this movement, maybe an invitation to flow here. So you might consider combining each movement with the breath. So as you take an inhale, let's lift the arms up. And essentially we're bringing the palms together. And then as you exhale, draw the palms towards your center chest. Alright, with the next inhale, you might slowly start to lift the palms up towards the ceiling again. And then exhale, releasing the arms out to the side. So this is where we'll flow. Inhale, lifting the hands up. Exhale, bringing the hands towards your center chest. Inhale again, lifting the arms up. Exhale, releasing. So feel free to just kind of flow with this. A few more breaths. Maybe the eyes are closed if you feel comfortable to do so, or maybe they're open. Let's take 1 or 2 more here. All right, let's send the arms back up, hands together, lifting up. And as you exhale, draw the right knee in towards your chest. Take hands to the shin or the thigh. Next inhale, lifting the head up towards the knee. And then exhale, releasing. So here's our next invitation to flow. And then release the hand, release the foot. Inhale, bring the left knee in. Exhale, lifting the head up. Lowering down, placing the foot down. Arms out to the side. Next inhale, draw both knees in. Exhale, lifting up, lifting your head up. Inhale, lowering the head down. And then releasing the legs. Alright. This time we'll come over to the other side, or start with the other side. So left knee's going to draw in. We're going to lift the head up towards the left knee. Lowering the head down first. And then lowering the foot down. Next side, bringing the right side or the other side in. Lifting the head up. And then gently releasing. And then releasing the foot. Both knees are going to hug towards the chest again. And then we're going to lift the head up. And then gently release the head first. And then the feet first. Beautiful. Alright, let's extend the legs out long. Give them a little shake out. Awesome. Then as you're ready, we'll start to bring now the right knee back in towards the chest. This time we might extend the left leg out nice and long. Then again, we could slowly see about lifting the head up towards the right knee. Maybe even pausing for a moment. And then gently releasing the head down. And then release the foot down. And then extending the leg long. Again, these are just options. You might consider having the other knee bent. So we're going to bring in now the left side. And then maybe lifting the head up. Maybe pausing just for a moment. Wonderful. And then just gently releasing the head and then the foot. I got ahead of myself on that one. And then now both knees in towards the chest once again. Head lifts up. Maybe pause. Wonderful. And then releasing. Great. Alright, so now we might bring a little bit of movement, do a little windshield wipe with the knees. Alright, then we'll slowly begin to lift ourselves up. So take your time, alright? You might roll to one side first, or lifting yourself up in whatever fashion. Alright, and then we're going to come up and stand. So our next pose is going to be done using a wall. So I'm just going to use this little corner here, so you might be able to see here. So starting off with just a standing posture. So that might, you might consider coming into like a mountain pose or something that kind of allows your feet to press down into the earth. You might do a little kind of roll with the shoulders a few times. Maybe a head nod side to side. Then as you're ready, let's slowly begin to lift the arms all the way up. Maybe even looking up. And then we might consider bending. So we want to be a couple feet away from the wall. So kind of hinging at the hips. And placing our hands so the hands can find the wall. We want to have our arms pretty straight here. So I'm going to back up a little bit just to find a little more. So essentially we're coming into this kind of lengthening the spine a little bit and folding and a little bit of this kind of forward bend. Alright. Maybe kind of pressing the sit bones back. You might have a slight bend to the knees. This could also, you might even welcome a little bit of kind of shuffling from side to side. Maybe bending into one knee. Maybe even lifting one heel up at a time. Wonderful. Alright, and then as you're ready, we're going to just see about stepping the right foot. We're going to keep both legs straight for this one, but of course you can have a slight bend to the knee, but for this one we're coming into like a, so you might have yourself kind of lifted out just a little bit. And then as you're ready, we're gonna fold again. So I'm gonna back up once again because I'm gonna give a little bit more kind of space between both feet. And then we're folding. So this one's gonna kind of give a little bit of a stretch to the front leg. So you might be feeling that in your calf, your hamstring, kind of loosen them up. And then again, we're pressing the sit bones back. So you can kind of treat this as like a half version of a triangle pose. Let's take 3 nice, big, beautiful breaths here. Last one here. All right, let's slowly start to lift the chest. Kind of lunge into or bend into that front knee. So on my right knee, I'm gonna step forward again. So now we might have made ourselves a little bit closer to this wall. Again, we wanna keep our arms extended or keep our palms on the wall. This time I'm gonna step back that right foot. I'm bringing that right heel down to the floor and giving myself enough space here, right? And then again, if you need to back up a little bit, do whatever is necessary here. And then again, we're folding. We're hinging at our hips, lengthening the spine. So this might be really nice for anyone that might be having, you know, like anything going on with like high blood pressure. This might be a nice pose to come into rather than inverting, where we take our head below our heart, essentially. Might be nice for kind of the lower back as well, as we're getting a nice little extension here. Let's take 3 more breaths, again on this side. Again, let's slowly start to lift the chest. Might step that back foot forward. And then we'll just release and give it a little shake out, maybe a little dance, whatever feels necessary. And then, yeah, I mean, give it a little shake out. You know, that was maybe something for might be feeling it a little bit in the back of those legs. So we're gonna come back down now into our our remaining practice will be, or the remaining parts of our practice will be done on the floor. So that's where this rolled up prop comes in handy. We're gonna set it up, and we're kind of aiming, so when we lower down, we wanna have it at kind of our, just below our shoulders to start with. So, and it might take a few moments just to arrange ourselves there too, right? So just, you know, giving yourself enough space so you can lower down. Yeah, I need to back up a little bit. And then from here, and again, you might have something padded behind your head as well, just to support. And then we're gonna lower down. Now this is gonna open up the little bits of the chest here. So kind of inviting a little bit of a chest opener or heart opener, back bend, whatever you might call it. I'm gonna take the arms out to the side, kind of like in that T formation, and as you feel ready, you might consider extending the legs long. You might keep the knees bent. Again, maybe inviting the eyes to soften. And then we'll just, again, find our breath, find our breathing here. Again, this one's kind of meant to just be one that we can soften in a little bit here, right? You might take a couple more breaths. This one you can stay in maybe a little longer if you wanted to stay a minute or so. We're going to, from here, take another breath, plant our feet. And then you might consider lifting yourself up, or if you are able to even kind of reach for the opposite end, or the ends of the rolled up prop. And we're essentially going to kind of lift ourselves up a little bit so we can slide it now to our mid back. And here we'll, again, pause. Consider keeping your knees bent or extending the legs long again. We'll take a few more breaths here. Again, this one you might invite yourself to stay in a little longer. Take another big breath if you are ready to kind of move along with this practice today. Again, kind of bending the knees, planting the feet. And then we're sliding this now rolled out prop just a little bit lower now. Just we want to still have our sit bones on the mat, but we're gonna just but at first to get there, we might press the feet into the ground, lift the hips up just enough, slide it just a couple more either inches or wherever to find yourself at your lower back. So creating this more arch here. So just kind of above the hip. So I know some of us might consider coming into that bridge. We're going to do that next. But right here, my sit bones are still on the floor. Arms, again, could be out to the side, maybe on the belly and chest, wherever feels comfortable for you. Again, we might lengthen the legs. And let a few breaths here. And again, as mentioned, in kind of all these poses, even throughout this whole practice, you might consider staying a little longer for a few more breaths. Let's take 2 more here. And if you are considering kind of moving along here, we can bring the feet to the floor. Last kind of move that we're doing with this prop, we're going to lift the hips up now. And now slide it right, so it's at the back of our kind of pelvis, and like our hips are going to be supported by this prop. So some of us might even consider coming a little higher. You might have a block close by, or what I might do here is actually fold the prop just to give myself a little more height. This time I'm going to keep my knees bent. And, you know, again, arms can come out to the side, T formation. You might even have them lifted above, letting the back of the hands rest on the floor. And again, nice easy breaths here. Let's take a couple more breaths. Nice big breath in. And a big breath out. All right, last one here. Bringing your arms down, and then kind of getting yourself set up to remove the prop. So again, I'm going to lift up and just slide the rolled up prop just out to the side, lower my hips back down. And before anything, let's just walk the feet out wide, let the knees drop. Just kind of gives a little ease to the lower back. Maybe hands rest on the belly, letting the shoulders relax. And just let yourself feel, notice, observe. And then as you're ready, begin to bring some movement. That might mean knees come in, maybe doing a little rock and roll, side to side. And then again, as you're ready, we'll kind of press ourselves up. Take your time, of course, right? Some of this, and throughout this this class or this practice, these poses, like I mentioned, can be done with a little more time if you just press pause and like chill on it for a while before moving into the next one. We'll just bring a little more, so we'll come into all fours next. So you could use your prop here for, you know, some padding underneath the knees if it's a little much. You can also do maybe some cat-cows using a chair where you're seated and just bring a little bit of movement. You could do that right here as well. Seated on your heels, or what might be a little better for folks could be even planting the hands underneath the knees or again the thighs. And it's starting to round and arch the spine. Or, again, kind of coming into the other form where your feet and knees are bent. Your knees are bent, hands are underneath the shoulders. And then just maybe inviting a little bit of movement. You might consider finding the pace moving with your breath. Or you might just feel yourself kind of pausing or holding in either one of those shapes. That's having the inhales kind of arch and kind of lift your hips, chest, chin. And then exhaling, rounding, so kind of curling the tail under, puffing up, kind of like a mad cat, and then dropping the chin. Of course, you can find some other little movements as well. And then as you're ready, we'll find ourselves lowering down into a nice little child's pose. So maybe knees out wide, lowering the hips towards the heels. Arms could extend out long in front of you. Or you could also use them as a pillow by stacking one hand on top of the other and lowering the forehead down. Let's take a couple breaths here. Take another big breath here. And then as you like, now I like to have my arms out in front about shoulder distance. You might consider having them closer. We're going to just simply begin to walk our hands now over to the right side. And then seeing about kind of lowering that right hip. Did I say? Yeah, the left side. So that right hip is going to lower back to the heel. Let's take a nice big breath here. And a nice big breath out. And then we'll slowly begin to walk our hands back through center. And then make our way over to the other side, opposite side. So over to the right. So my left hip's going to slink back. And then again, taking another big breath here. And a nice big breath out. All right, back through center. And this time maybe just walking the hands towards your knees. Now you might consider keeping yourself, drawing the knees in. Bring yourself to kneel. Of course, you're more than welcome to also lower down into a comfortable seat. Maybe cross-legged, maybe not. And then from here, let's begin to just extend the arms out to a T formation. And then we'll bend the elbows and draw the arms in towards each other. Now, you might consider stacking the right elbow over top of the left. You could also just give yourself a little hug here, reaching your hands towards opposite shoulders. Or maybe allowing back of the hands or palm of the hands to touch. See about kind of encouraging the softening of the tops of the shoulders here. Take a nice big breath here. And then big exhale, let it go, release. Give it a little shake out. Do whatever is necessary here. And then we'll simply bring ourselves over to the other side. So again, bending the elbows, drawing them in. This time, left elbow is going to stack over the right. Palm of the hands, or again, you can be giving yourself a little hug here. And again, kind of sitting up or finding a bit of a tall seat here. All right, take another big breath in. Nice big breath out. Again, release. Maybe extending the arms, giving it a little shake out. Do whatever is necessary again. And then from here, we'll take the palms in together. So maybe interlacing them into a fist. And then just sending the arms out in front of us. And then kind of rounding here. So starting to push the upper back towards the back wall. And then slowly starting to lift our arms all the way up. And then maybe here you might just consider even looking up, or just kind of imagining yourself kind of straightening the arms here. Take a nice big breath here. And then again, exhale, release, let the arms soften. Oh, that felt nice. Especially for a lot of us maybe cramping up a little bit with our, maybe, just being at computers, working from home, doing whatever we do as humans. All right, so for our next pose, and I'll offer you a few. I'm actually going to just go off screen for a second and bring a chair in for our next pose. So, but of course, having the wall close by as well might be something else that you might use, or you might just simply come into lowering down onto your back and coming into kind of your traditional lying down posture, known as Shavasana or corpse pose. For this one, using a chair or your couch or the wall again. We'll come and sit right beside the chair, and then what's going to happen here, I'm just going to swing my legs up onto the chair, and then slowly begin to walk myself. So I'm going to lower down onto my elbows first, and then lower my head down. You could have a prop behind your head, or below the hips. And this is where I'll kind of leave you to, just allow yourself to kind of finish off your practice